This is the GeordieJedi here. Today, going over the Newcastle transfer roundup, especially of deadline day. See, we brought in 9 players, 7 really, 2 are Nottingham Forest, but it's still, still 9 players. We'll get them at the end of the season. And we got rid of, at the last count, I think 11. So I'd like to say to Alan Pardew, well done for keeping half of your word. You said the only way a player would be coming in is if a player went out, and well done, you've kept half of it. Yes, as you can imagine, I'm being fucking sarcastic. You stupid twat. I'm sorry. Now, all the other sort of departures I can somewhat understand. Debussy, we brought in Jan Matt as a like-for-like replacement. But we're weaker than we were. That's the problem I have. Apart from Debussy for Jan Matt, nobody we brought in is equal to their replacement, apparently. Same de Jong, replacement for Johan Cabaye? No, he's not that good. I'd like him to be. Maybe one day he will be. But not yet. Cabella for Ben Arthur? As good as Ben Arthur? No. There's a damn good reason why his name's on the back of my shirt. So no. And I'll get on to Ben Arthur and bloody the transfer deadline day in a minute. So, we lose players and we bring in weaker players. Maybe a little bit younger. And maybe they will become better than what they replaced. But not yet. We're in a weaker fucking position. Now don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled kinda with how we've done in the transfer window previously, because quite frankly it could have been worse. We brought in 9 players, we could have brought in 4. Hell, we could have brought in 4 and I'd have been happy, because quite frankly it was better than the last 2. But, as I say, we're in a weaker position. Now if we'd brought in, when we, on transfer deadline day, I'll get onto it now, Yangan Biwa went off to Roma. He's apparently good enough for the Champions League, but not good enough for Newcastle United. Now, I somewhat kind of get this. Because the problem is that really he's apparently 4th choice, he should be 3rd. But, what do you do with a player who's good enough to play at pretty much any other club, but not good enough to play regularly first team football for Newcastle? What do you do? Because is he better than Colaccini? Not yet, he will be. Personally, I think he's probably the replacement really for Colaccini. Or Lascelles is, one or the other. But he could have been a long-term replacement for Colaccini. Is he better than him? Don't know. Is he better than Williamson? No, not yet. Very, very close to being better than him. But what do you do with him? How is he going to get better than Williamson and Colaccini if he's not playing football? So you have to feel sorry for the bloke. He's, a really good defender, but he's not playing first team football, so what's he going to have to do? He's going to have to move away. That's unfortunate. To be honest, I kind of get this one. But if he went away, you'd have thought Pardew would, well, not necessarily Pardew, but you'd have thought they'd have had a replacement in mind. Apparently it was Alba Wield. I'm not 100% certain how to pronounce his name. Apparently it was him, but he went to Southampton. Although apparently we were first choice, just we couldn't agree on a fee, probably a wage budget. Seriously, we can't agree on a wage budget, but Southampton can. I don't know. There's a point when I somewhat agree with trying to get the cheapest deal out there. There's nothing wrong with that. But you've got to be a little bit flexible. If a player lowest demands is this much, and personally I don't even think he'd probably ask for, 100,000 plus. I'd be very surprised if he fucking did. But you've got to become a little bit flexible, especially with the kind of money we should have. Losing 10 players, that's 10 wage budget away. And I'm sure Debussy and Cabaye were on more than 80 grand a year. So that's just weak bullshit. That's just, there's lies going on here. We're being, don't get me wrong, this isn't from the club, this was from people like the places like the Chronicle, who have probably heard from people at the club. But there's something going on here. We're being fucking screwed over. Because the amount of money we should have is missing for some unknown reason. I know you've got to include wage budget, but still, there's some... Seriously, our books do not add up. From the fans' point of view, we're not seeing the right amount of money. I mean, hell, I don't even think we've seen Andy Carroll's 35 million yet. And he was on a good bit of wage as well. So, what the fuck is going on? I'm not necessarily blaming Pardew for this. You know, it's Mike Ashley who I want to blame. You know, I'm sick of him at this club. He helped us out by saying we're from administration, but now really his time's up. He can bloody piss back off. You can go buy Rangers. Just go fully buy Rangers and leave us alone. We're absolutely fucking sick of you. Because we can't be arsed anymore. We can't be arsed of not seeing our money for the club. It's not my money personally, but you know what I mean. You know, we should have shit tons of money. I'm not saying we should have 100 million plus, but given who we've bought, how cheaply we're buying them. I should point out, you know, I think the most expensive person we've bought in this transfer window was Remy Cabella, and he was about 6 million. 6.5 million I'm hearing. Apparently the same amount of money as Shane Long, which seems a bit weird. But where the hell is our fucking money? And now, to the main reason really why I wanted to do this video, Hatem Ben Arfa. Okay, maybe he was a bit unprofessional last season, or you know, towards the end of the season. Basically, and you all know kind of stories, having a bit of a go at Pardew. Personally, unwise thing to do. He should have went in his office and then had a go at him, which is generally the correct procedure. Go in his office and shout at him all you want. But over the summer he's been shown professionalism. He's been told about that. Apparently he came back fat. I'm hearing his agent says that actually it was muscle, and he actually lost fat and muscle, and that they want to see the medical reports because they won't show them to him. You might have seen them by now, but still. Ended up in a reserve game against Reading. Did incredibly well, 2 assists and one beautiful individual goal. You know what Ben Arfa's known for. Pardew was watching, and then this is the thing that I really think showed his professionalism. What he said was that he wanted, you know, pretty much no matter what, he wanted to stay at Newcastle and fight for his place. How much more professional can you get? If you refuse to leave your club because you want to prove that you're worthy, that you deserve to be there, quite frankly, that's about as professional as you can get. And yet, when I was watching, you know, Twitter, keeping up to date on what the Chronicle was saying and Sky Sports and all that kind of bullshit, what I'm hearing from the Chronicle in particular is that apparently during the last hour-ish, maybe 2, of the transfer window deadline day, they were actively trying to sell Hatem Ben Arfa. I should point out, he's on a season-long loan to Hull City, so when they come here, you know, everybody's going to be chanting Hatem Ben Arfa. That's going to be fucking funny, especially if he scores against. Well, part of me kind of wants him to. I mean, part of me wants to obviously still win the match, but part of me wants Hatem Ben Arfa to score just to prove a point to that bloody idiot Pardew. But, you know, basically, so season-long loan, and he's on the last year of his contract. That means that no matter what, at the end of the season loan, he's not coming back. You know, the only way I'm saying coming back is if we buy him as a free agent, which quite frankly would be the smart move, really, from, you know, Pardew, especially if Hatem Ben Arfa does well at Hull City, would be the smart move would be buy him back on as a free agent, because then you wouldn't have to pay a transfer fee anyways. It'd also probably be Hatem Ben Arfa's possibly preferred choice, depending on if he's kept his word. Now, you know, some people might be thinking, you know, oh, well, Hatem Ben Arfa, why did you accept it? You know, you're the one, you already turned down a Birmingham loan move, so why would you accept Hull City? Part of my thinking is that when they've been trying to get rid of him, they've decided to bluntly say, you're not getting a game here. You can, you know, go play somewhere else, we don't care. you're not getting a game here. I'm sorry, but this is a person who, I've heard, say, 30% of our fan base, including myself, you know, chant his name. You know, for me, he's probably one of the best players at the club. Not the most consistent, but on his day, he's better than everybody at our club right now. And you fucking sell him. And the same thing happened again. If one goes in, if one goes out, one comes in. But where the hell's the player? I don't see Lacazette. Bloody idiots. I'm sorry, but... Well, I'm not sorry. Why the hell should I be sorry? They should be fucking sorry for doing it. Now, if hadn't been off, I went on a season-long loan, maybe, okay. You'd better have brought Lacazette in. No Lacazette. No, we don't get a replacement for one of the best players at our club. I'm sorry, I'm just pissed off about that bit. Young and Biwa was somewhat fair enough. All the others were somewhat fair enough, but hadn't been off, there's no reason. He showed professionalism. I mean, don't get me, I'm not in the training ground, so I can't see what he does day to day. And if I could, I'm not going to make a habit of it. But all I can see is professionalism. Showing that he bloody wants to stay at this club that he loves and I love as well. Seriously, when Hull City game comes round, everybody's going to be chanting his name, and that's going to piss Pardew off. Because I bloody hope it will. Because, you know, I wanted Mike Ashley out, you know, a year ago. Maybe even before that. But Pardew, I thought, you know, this is a manager who finished 5th LMA Manager of the Year. So sure, it might have only been one season, but surely he's technically capable of it. He seemed reasonable. You know, he wasn't one of these crazy managers that'll, you know, put somebody on the bench just because he took his own croissant from him. You know, it seemed to be more about the player than, you know, any random personal shit. But this makes no sense. So I swear to God, he's got to come out and say something. Otherwise, really, this is going to turn into a big shitstorm. From me personally. You know, he's 30% of our fan base absolutely adore him, and I'm one of them. He might not, as I've said, he might not be the most consistent player. If you start him in a match, you're not necessarily going to get an absolutely brilliant player. And defensively, perhaps you're not going to get, you know, somebody who's going to back up the right back. But that's kind of not the point. And even then, you haven't exactly brought in players who are going to do that, have you? You know, Cabella's replacement, he's not going to track back. Maybe a foot more than hadn't been off, I would, but he's not going to track back. Why the hell would he do that? Anyways, basically, deadline day is one of the worst times to be a Newcastle fan. It really is. The transfer window was quite good, really, because we brought in some players. We could have been really in the shit if they'd only brought in 4 or less. But we brought in 7 effectively. But for what we've lost, no, it's a piss take. I'm kind of going over to Pardew out. I was always trying to keep myself somewhat on the fence about that. I kind of wanted him to stay, to be honest, because I thought he was an alright manager. There were better out there, but the majority of them already have a club. But this is just a piss take. I want him out. I'm sorry, but he cannot manage. I mean, he's already fucked everything up. He's fucked players up, and then he gets rid of one of the better ones. No, I'm not having it. He can piss off. I want him gone from my club. Because he's ruined this season. This season could have been something special. Especially given, you know, the kind of players we brought in. But, no. He's pissed us off. And go screw himself. I'm sick of him. Anyways. This has been the GeordieJedi. Leave a comment below if you agree with us or disagree with us. You know, this is my personal opinion. But if you want to argue... I mean, I won't argue back. But I mean, you know, if you want to voice your own opinion, by all means, I don't mind, I'll read it. You know, I'll see what you think. But leave a like if you can, it really helps. Subscribe if you want. I'll leave a link in the description below for you. And may the force be with you.